Hi guys, welcome back. Today is so fun because we have I don't know why I'm using all of these fingers, two new, very like highly requested, very popular sunscreens that I'm going to be reviewing. And I think it's actually going to be really cool because I'm going to do side by side. They're so similar in a lot of ways, and I thought it would just be kind of cool. But before we get into that, my name is Dana, and thanks for being here. If you enjoy these kinds of videos or just enjoy skincare and sunscreen in general, consider subscribing below and give this video a big ol' like, and we'll get going. I feel like I'm gonna be out of breath this whole video because I have a wicked acid reflux right now due to stress. And every time you go online to be like, what can you do to help acid reflux? It's like, de-stress. And I'm like, cool, tell me how, make that happen, because I don't know how. That's why I have this. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. What you're here for are these two sunscreens. So you probably have heard of them. You've probably seen them around. This is the new Naturium. This is UV Reflect Antioxidant SPF 50. And this is the Ultraviolet Fave Fluid Ultralight Sunscreen SPF 50. So this one is SPF 50 plus. It doesn't say anything about PA. This one does have 4 PA pluses, so very high for both of them. Ultraviolet, most Australian sunscreens have very high UV and UVA and UVB ratings. So both of them you should consider very, very strong and good protection. But what I'm gonna do, as you know, if you've seen any of my other side-by-side videos, I'm gonna put the Naturium on one side and the Ultraviolet on the other. They're very similar in a lot of ways, but they're also quite different. So I thought this would be a good kind of comparison to see, like maybe you're thinking about getting one or both or whatever. And of course I do a full review on both of them, but you get a 2-for-1 in this video. So I'll put my hair up because I am incapable of doing skincare or sunscreen with my hair down, and we'll get going. I'm gonna start off with the Ultraviolet, and I've got my 1/4 teaspoon. I will be doing half of it, so 1/8, because I'm only doing half of my face. And I'll do the same with the Naturium. So this is a new sunscreen from Ultraviolet called the Fave Fluid SPF 50 Ultralight Fragrance-Free Sunscreen. It comes in 75 milliliters, so it's pretty big because that actually is 2.54 fluid ounces compared to your normal 1.7 fluid ounces. So this is an ultralight fragrance-free sunscreen, oh, they call it skin screen, sorry, that delivers a natural finish and the highest SPF 50 plus protection without leaving the skin feeling heavy or sticky. As far as your filters, this is a chemical sunscreen, and it has Uvinol T150 and Tinsorb S, which are some of the newer, better filters out there. So it is lightweight, it has no cast, obviously, and it has no scent to it. I don't ever have any eye sting with this one. It goes on so easily, and it's a really good kind of all-purpose sunscreen with high protection, but also easy for everyone to use. So far, I have not had any pilling with the Ultraviolet, but this is also probably not something I'm going to wear on top of a lot of skincare. When I'm wearing a light fluid sunscreen, it's usually because it's summertime, I'm doing something active. I don't necessarily need a whole ton of skincare, so I can't necessarily speak to if it pills or not. I have read that it has pilled on a few people, but I don't think that is the standard. I think that's just kind of maybe the outlier for this case. So I think it's actually interesting. It's a marketing ploy, but when they say on their website that it only has, or I don't think they say only, but they kind of call out the ingredients being Uvinol T150 and Tinsorb S as like the new filters. That's true. It also has avobenzone and insulazole, so it's 4 filters within this sunscreen, but they only call out 2. As far as the percentages, for insulazole, it's 4%, Tinsorb S, it's also 4%, avobenzone 3%, and Uvinol T150 1%. As far as our price for this, it retails for 52 Australian dollars, which is about 34 and change in US dollars. So it's middle of the road. I mean, it's still expensive, but you're also getting, like I said, 2.5 fluid ounces instead of the normal 1.7. So you're getting a lot of it for a pretty reasonable price, especially with such good protection. All right, let's talk about the finish. So I think this is a valuable kind of comparison because while they are so similar, they have some slight variations and differences, especially when it comes to the finish. If you put both of them on your hand, you probably wouldn't tell a difference. They're both incredibly fluid, very lightweight, just have a nice silky feel. They absorb quickly, but I think the finish is what kind of differentiates them. So we have on this side the Ultra Violette, and then of course this side is the Naturium. If I am feeling my face and looking at it, on the Ultra Violette side, I definitely feel there's a little bit more glow. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say a radiant finish because it's not compared to so many of the sunscreens we have, but I would say it's maybe like a natural radiant finish where like you're going to get that in between. So I think this is a really pretty finish where it gives you that kind of almost glass skin. If you don't want to wear any makeup, this will give you just that really nice glowy skin. Now, if you do have drier skin, you're probably going to want to layer this on top of your skincare. Just be careful, you know, with the pilling thing. I don't think it's going to happen, but if you do notice any pilling, just let your skincare rest a little bit and like settle in before you put the sunscreen on. But as you can see, I think that you just are going to get a little bit more of a glow. And I don't mean that you're going to actually get like moisturization from this. I don't think either one are going to give you moisture, but it's going to give a little bit more of that radiant finish, which looks really nice under makeup. It looks nice on its own, and it's kind of just whatever look you're going for. This is the Naturium UV Reflect Antioxidant SPF 50. This is brand new from Naturium. So this retails for $26 and you get your standard 1.7 fluid ounces or 50 milliliters. They say our sheer sunscreen is formulated with organic chemical filters that protect against broad spectrum UVA, UVB rays with an SPF 50 PA+++ rating. Lightweight fluid features 2% InfraGard to help protect against infrared blue light and pollution-induced free radicals. And it is water resistant for 40 minutes, which is really exciting. It also says that it provides a velvety, soft finish focus. As far as filters, they're all chemical. This is avobenzone 3%, homosalate 10%, and octosalate 5%. So since this is a US brand, you're not going to get any of the newer filters, whereas the ultraviolet one, you do get some newer UV filters. On the ultraviolet website, it did not say anything about this one being water resistant, so the Naturium does get kind of a leg up because this is water resistant for 40 minutes. And then let's talk about the finish on the Naturium side. As far as finish, we definitely have a little bit more, I wouldn't call this necessarily 100% matte, but it's really like a soft matte, natural finish. It does feel like there's not greasiness to it, but it's not 100% dried down. I think it's a really natural, nice finish, especially if you have more oily or combo skin. This is gonna be right up your alley. Now, if you have drier skin, you're gonna want to moisturize, like I said, kind of like with the ultraviolet, but more for the fact of you're not getting moisture from either of these or hydration. They're just there to kind of protect your skin versus those sunscreens like the other ultraviolet one, I think Supreme Screen, where you really get moisture from it and UV protection. But you can kind of tell the difference. Like this side, it still has a little bit of a glow, not anything crazy. I mean, on this channel, we've seen me put some sunscreens on where it's like, I do look like a disco ball, but this one, it just has this really nice natural finish. This one, a little bit more glowy. I would say like really, if you're looking for that glass skin kind of look, the ultraviolet one is really gonna give that to you. But also, it kind of depends on your skin. I have more normal combo skin, especially in the summertime, it gets more combo oily, but it kind of is a pretty normal skin type most of the year. So for me, both of these are gonna be perfect and they're gonna give me exactly what I'm looking for, either if like a more natural matte finish or a little bit more natural radiant finish. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but this one I've not had any eye sting. I literally got this pretty much in my eye today, not on purpose, but I did. This one does not have any fragrance, and of course there's no white cast in either one of them. You can put them on any skin tone and you're not gonna have any white cast. The one thing I also did want to mention, this is the Naturium box. They always come like this and then you can like open it up for more details. And this is for all those people who comment on my videos being like, you put too much sunscreen on. Right here, it says, dermatologists recommend applying 1/4 teaspoon of sunscreen to the face, and an additional 1/4 teaspoon to cover the neck and ears. So I use a 1/4 teaspoon for my neck and face. Technically, I'm not even using enough, but I just want to say that because people always comment, and they're not people that are subscribed. They're just like random people who find it and be like, girl, you put too much on. And I'm like, girl, you're gonna get skin cancer. No, not really. I don't want anyone to get skin cancer. I just am saying, like, it's better to err on the side of too much than too little, especially when it comes to sunscreen. And also, you don't know what other people are what their skin is. Mine, I am highly, highly susceptible to melasma and skin cancer, so I'm gonna put more on. But if you don't have that in your family or just in like your own personal experience and history, then do you. Like, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'm just telling you the recommended amount. Anyway, okay. So what are my final thoughts? My bangs are killing me. I don't think they're bangs anymore, they're just hair. I really like both of them. First, did not love the ultraviolet because I felt like it gave me too much glow and it didn't necessarily feel like it had set down, but I was also wearing it to go work out and it was probably just not the best sunscreen to work out in because I was already sweaty and glowy. But I think it's gonna be a really good one for those of you who have not necessarily dry skin, but want this kind of a little bit more glass skin look. Both of them also wear so well under makeup. They are just so easy. They're very, very reminiscent of our favorite Korean sunscreens. But that said, $26 and $34 US is still a lot compared to some of the best Korean sunscreens out there, which are like $10. So these could be too expensive and I totally get that. But I think in the US market, they are, well, this one's in the US market. This one, it took me it took me a lot of money to get it, but you can get it in the US. If you're curious how, I will, I guess, post it below. But anyway, what I'm saying is that they are pretty unique because I don't think that a lot of sunscreens in the US are made to kind of duplicate a Korean sunscreen. And if those are the types of sunscreens you traditionally like, definitely recommend, especially the Naturium, which is easier to get. I recommend getting this if that's kind of something that you're jonesing for and wanting to get. Also, I've already used that much, so this is gonna go pretty quickly just because it is so fluid. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I think they're both really good sunscreens. I was kind of going in hesitant because I didn't know what to expect, and I don't know, I err on the side of kind of not liking things and then they have to wow me. So consider me a little bit wowed and I would recommend both of them. So, all right guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye.